Hello guys, NautoAisDx, and this will be some corrections and follow-up on particularly the two presentations, the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase and the State of Play 2026. And some follow-up about the Virtual Boy NSO and other things. So first, the correction. First part is, I want to correct myself about the main character for Resident Evil Requiem. So Leon's gonna be the main character. The other one, I keep mentioning the name Ashley. That is not her name. That's my mistake. Ashley is an NPC for Resident Evil 4. That's the president's daughter, and that's the part where Leon have to save her if you play Resident Evil 4. So I got confused. Her name is Grace Ashcroft. So the Ashley part came from Ash. I got confused because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really a Resident Evil fan. Like, I sort of know the story, I just follow, but I'm not really uber into it. I try playing the game, I mean, I can play them, but for me it's like, it's a Resident Evil. It is what it is there. And that's why Ashley came there. My mistake, it's Ashcroft. So her name is Grace Ashcroft. She is the daughter from Resident Evil Outbreak. So that's why. And then of course Leon. So again, in Resident Evil Requiem, you get to play as Leon Kennedy, which is, he plays like a badass. At the same time, you play as the daughter from Resident Evil Outbreak. Her name is Grace Ashcroft. So that's why. So the second correction is, when I was talking about the arcade archive and their introduction to the console archive, so I did mention a game from SNK because I mentioned about ACA Neo Geo. And the game is Voltage Fighter Gowkaiser. So I said Gowlancer, which is, that's a game I think from This America or Atlas. It's one of those like real-time anime strategy game. I mean, it's a fun game for what it is, but that's, I think that Gowlancer is from. It could be another name, but that's what I kind of remembered. So I couldn't remember it either, Gowkaiser or Gowlancer. That's why. But the actual title is Voltage Fighter Gowkaiser. And when I was talking about that, and even Masari Obori, who the artist who did the Fatal Fury anime, said that he would love a modern release for that game, but because of the license issue, from what I understand, it is an SNK game, so it's a Neo Geo game. It was probably also on PlayStation, but because I think it's also owned by Technos, which is owned by Arc System Works, if you know the business part of it. So it's kind of right now the license issues, the little tricky one. So yeah, it's a Neo Geo game, but for whatever reason, you can't put it on a Neo Geo ACA because it's by Technos, and if Technos, I think it's Arc System Work, and I think they probably don't like it. I don't know. That's all they just heard. It's just that it was a license difficulty. That's why. Kind of like Windjammer. That's why you've never seen an ACA Neo Geo version, but it has its own like an indie small title, and of course it's a sequel developed by .mu. So I mean, it is what it is. It would be nice, but like I said, the actual title is Voltage Fighter Gowkaiser. So that's why, not Gowlancer. I think it's another game, Gowlancer. That's what it is. So I got mixed up. Oopsie there. So now, the follow-up. First of all, I want to talk about Goemon. So, of course, like I said in the Nintendo Direct, that as of right now, everybody sees that the Goemon collection is going to come out in Japan, July 2026. But it seems that some people, even in Japan, said that what they're hearing is that this game may be exclusive to Japan, and the keyword here is for now. So it could be that they might be releasing it further down the line, maybe late 2026, maybe 2027. Who knows? Because like I said in that video, it's 13 Goemon game, and most of them never came out outside of Japan. So imagine trying to localize that. Good luck with that. I mean, I'm not sounding pessimistic, but you guys see the reality, like, that's a lot of games. Are you trying to translate to English? I mean, that'd be awesome. If they do it, for me personally, I would buy it at full price. That's just me. I would buy it for full price. I'm willing to pay $60 for this game if they release it outside of Japan. That's just me there, but we'll have to wait and see. But people even in Japan say that the belief is that Goemon Collection as of right now will be a Japanese exclusive for now. So it might be possible, but I wouldn't be surprised if they say, you know what, it's going to be too much work, we're not going to release. I mean, kind of dickish, because even outside of Japan, including myself, love the Goemon game. So in a different video, I'm going to go in depth about it, but that's just a follow-up. I want to just share that it might be just temporarily going to be in Japan exclusive, but you never know. I'm just going to say, you never know there. And then the last part is Virtual Boy NSO. So of course, by now, it's out. So if you're one of these people that bought the $100 Virtual Boy case, good for you. Again, it would be nice with the controller, but I'll talk about it later. But of course, the alternative is a $25 cardboard box. that kind of resemble Labo VR. So with that said, I looked at the product in the internet, like the lens itself kind of remind me of a Labo. So for me personally, a long time ago, I bought the Labo VR starter kit, which is you come with the Labo itself and a gun, and it was on sale for $20. I think MSRP is $40. You can get the whole shebang for like $100, maybe $90 tops. I have no idea. That was a long time ago because they stopped doing the Labo thing. I mean, so it POS to some extent, maybe not, but there's a different story there. And I said in the previous video about when they introduced Virtual Boy NSO that I hope it will be compatible with Labo. So if you have the OG Switch one, which I do, I have Labo, which I do, and 3, 2, 1, what you're looking at is, yes, my Switch one and Labo, and yes, I am able to play Virtual Boy in it. The belief was first, yes, you could do it, and then someone from Nintendo said, no, you couldn't, like, it doesn't really make sense, and then people looked at the Virtual Boy cardboard. It looks like a Labo, so why would you say it wouldn't? Some people believe that they probably said that so that you'll buy this and not keep your Labo, but I mean, potato, whatever. But yeah, so the app came out. I have the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack, so I download the Virtual Boy, use my Labo, use my OG Switch one, really hope it still works. And yes, I can play Virtual Boy game with it. So for people wondering, can you use Labo VR to play virtual games? And the answer is yes. So the other question is, can you play it without it? And people already said this, so I'm just gonna kind of piggyback to some extent. Is no. If you turn on the virtual app when the Switch dock, they tell you to undock it. When you undock it, what you're looking here is you get 2 small screens. Yeah, this is how VR works. So the minute the game's on VR mode, that is what's gonna look like. It's the technology. It is what it is there. So you can play it without it, but you're just gonna see something like really small, and it's just like, okay. I mean, better than nothing, right? I mean, maybe in the long run they'll do an update that you can do it without it. I mean, you can do VR mode without it. We'll just have to wait and see. But as of right now, it is only, you have to use the Virtual Boy accessory or Labo VR, because believe it or not, it does show more about the 3D aspect than what the original system is. Just saying there. Like I said, in the past, 1995, I did rent the Virtual Boy and get to play, because the only game they have was Stellar Boxer and Red Alert. So I said the first 7 game, and it is what it is, fun for what it is, and there you go. Oh boy. So second partner. So like I said, you can use VR Labo if you have it. If you have the original Switch 1 and the Labo VR, there you go. You're good to go. Bit of a thoughts. Is it worth playing this for the $50? Well, like I said, for $50, you get to play other console. N64, if you have the Switch 2, GameCube, and of course, you get to use the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom Legend of Zelda Switch 2 Edition for free. I did it. And of course, in my main channel, I gave my impression of the Zelda Node and the Switch 2 Edition. It is what it is, but that's a different video there. It might be worth it, but is there a longevity to play a Virtual Boy game? I hate to say it. Maybe I'm just old. I'm in my mid-40s, but I have to say no, because for me, I'm playing it, and then within 20 minutes stops, but like, oh, my eyes start to hurt, my head starts to hurt, like, I gotta pull it out. That's why. I mean, it is fun for what it is, but in short bursts. It is not something that you wanna play for long, because that red thing, I mean, fun it may be, that red screen, it gets irritating in the long run. That's the thing. Like, just as me personal, I mean, if you're a person that loves your Virtual Boy and you play for hours and hours, man, you got good eyes and more power to you. So, I mean, it is what it is, and that's the reason why, to some extent, why the Virtual Boy, the big case, doesn't have a strap, because so you can pull it out really fast if you need to, and the case with the cardboard box or the Labo, there's a reason why there's no strap. It is not a PlayStation VR, VR2. I mean, it should be convenient, but to some extent, I think for Nintendo, they're thinking about safety first before fun, to some extent. I know it's kind of weird playing games for fun, no achievement, but it's a different story there. But they are concerned about safety when it comes to VR, because the idea is, especially with the Labo VR, is that if something happens, you can just pull it out without removing that strap, and you know, like, oh, what's going on? Because to some extent, I'd say you're playing your PlayStation VR, something happened. Oh, what am I going to do? I'm holding a controller. I don't know what's going on, and then you're freaking out. You're not thinking because you got to remove the headgear, and then like, oh shit, kind of like that. So in the perspective of Nintendo, what I'm thinking is they're just saying that, hey, look, safety first. So if something happens, especially with the cardboard version, Labo, you can just pull it out and say, hey, what's going on. In the case with the Virtual Boy, yeah, I mean, you just need a stable or whatever. Again, I'm comfortable without a strap, yes, but I think they're doing safety. Should they at least add a strap for the cardboard version in the case as an option? I say yes. Sell it for $20, $30, whatever. I mean, Nintendo fans will buy it anyway. So another one is that people are complaining, even myself, believe it or not, is the controller. Nintendo should really consider doing a controller. You might say, well, if they added a controller with the case, that's going to cost more. Okay, whatever. Maybe the controller is $50, now you're paying $150 for the whole bundle. Then have an option. Have it without the controller. If you want just the case, there you go. The shell, there you go. But you just want a controller for $50, I'm just going to assume $50 because most of those controllers are like $50 tops. Have an option to do it. So maybe in the long run, hopefully that Nintendo will consider to do a Bluetooth controller of the Virtual Boy for the Virtual Boy fan. And people, influencer, YouTuber, Nintendo ambassador, I bet they're willing to pay $50 or heck, maybe even $60 for them. For me personally, probably not, maybe, but as of right now, for me personally, I'm happy with the Switch One and Labo because, like I said, for me, I can't even play it for long. Like, I'll play 1 or 2 levels for Wario Land, and then, I'm done. That's it. Like, some of those games are fun, some of them are, like, not so fun, and longevity, like I said, not for me, but, hey, to each your own. If you love the VR, if you love Virtual Boy games, more power to you. So, again, maybe in the long run, they will decide to do the controller. If it's $50 or so be it. I mean, people are willing to buy it, it sounds like, because I was watching some people when they bought their Virtual Boy shell case. They did say that they would like to get a controller, even meaning paying for it. I mean, a Bluetooth controller, hey, why not? We just have to wait and see. Maybe in the long run they'll do it, because like I said, there are other things going to happen with the Virtual Boy NSO. There will be more games. Unreleased game if you watch the overview trailer, but to some extent, they're also going to have some color filter, which I have no idea how does that work, but we just have to wait and see. Maybe late 2026 to 2027, Virtual Boy controller, will just Bluetooth. Just need a Bluetooth controller for the Virtual Boy. That's it. You probably can play with the other games for funs and giggle, but like I say, I see a lot of Nintendo enthusiast fans, they are buying those NSO controllers, believe it or not. Like, for me personally, the only reason, and I told this story in a different video, that the reason I got the NES controller, they were on sale, they were $60, but then they were 50% off, so I bought it. The Riverman lost my package, so I reported to Nintendo. They said, okay, we're just going to give you a refund. I said, cool. And then a couple of days later, I got the controller in the way for free. There you go. But as of right now, I have not even opened it because my favorite controller, if I want to play through the game release, either the PlayStation controller or one of those 8-bit though that resemble a Super Famicom with a handle. I like that one. But yeah, in the case with the N64, I got the N64 8-bit though controller. It's good for what it is. It was $30. Normally it's $60. And the funny part here is, like I said in a different video, that if you connect it to the Switch or Switch 2, for whatever reason, the NSO N64 saying that it's actual N64 controller. So you cannot hear that Nintendo N64 sound effect. I mean, I don't give a shit about it, but it's Easter egg. Like for the Nintendo, you'll hear Nintendo music, Super Nintendo, and so on. Even with GameCube. I do have a GameCube controller that I use for Smash Brothers, which is a USB. Doesn't really work, but whatever. I digress. It's just kind of fun and giggle there. So anyway, there you go, my correction and follow-up. So yeah, so interesting what's happening. I mean, good games coming out. Goemon hopefully will come out in the West. We'll just have to wait and see. And yeah, if you have Nintendo VR Labo and a Switch One, and you have the expansion pack to play the Virtual Boy game, you're good to go. There you go. And so with that, I'll see you guys later.